difficulty. I don't think it's in Charlian. Isn't it in Labyrinthos? I saw a level 10. That's gonna be a lot of leveling. Because the max right now is 90. Oh yeah, I think that's the quest. An unwelcome visitor. That's an ominous looking eye. You very new? I'll have to say, the game is, even if you don't like the gameplay, the story is where it's at least. The story is very, very good. I'm gonna grab your extra keyboard to play on your PS4. I can only imagine. I'm pretty sure you can play it with a controller on a PlayStation 4, but I can't imagine trying to actually do that with a controller. The amount of keys you have to use on a controller. Professor Claudine, where are your manners? While I understand all too well your enthusiasm, I must remind you that even the most academically inclined prefer a composed recounting of events. Ah, yes, of course. My apologies alls. Being consumed by my research for so long, I am afraid I have quite forgotten how to engage in civilized conversation. Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. For a game like this, I want to use the keyboard. In that case, perhaps we should start from the beginning. The crystal set adrift upon the ethereal tides, containing the memories of a party yet unknown. They cried out for deliverance from Pandamonium, where the ancients kept volatile creations under lock and key. You yourself witnessed the power devouring the facility from within, and the advent of a divine monstrosity, wrought of mythic beast and powerful mage. Fortunately, your material prowess and the combined magical talents of your companions, Themis and Erichthonios, was sufficient to restore order to the circles of Asphodelis, but the greater threat remains. In the depths of Pandamonium, a presence yet stirs, its intentions and identity shrouded in mystery. That's the issue at hand, is it not? Yep. From what I remember, at least. Since you returned to us, we worked tirelessly to discern the nature of the crystal. In the process, I detected an anomalous etheric signature, which I believe arose from the memories stored within. Analysis of this pattern suggested a feeling of loss or yearning, specifically the yearning to be made whole. And indeed, ambient readings have revealed a faint but identical signature. This can only mean that another such crystal exists in our time. You're gonna make a new account and I might make a swordsman? There's a few jobs that have swords. So my friend, I must depart and search for it forthwith. By tracing and matching the etheric signature to its source, I believe it will be a simple matter to find our crystal's twin. Professor, will this expedition be carried out only by us, or will Alls grace us with her protection? I'm afraid she has more pressing matters to attend to, my dear Rusinode, namely to seek out the secrets which lie nestled within Pandamonium, where this all began. From all that we have heard, it appears that the time traversal from the Crystal Tower is not fluid. That is to say, one can but travel in predetermined intervals. It would be prudent to check in on occasion in case there are any unanticipated changes. I haven't tried melee yet? Ah, okay. As for you, my loyal assistants, I would ask you to remain here and continue cataloging ancient creations. You can't mean, do you intend to search for the crystal on your own? Why yes, that would be the most efficient use of resources, would it not? In fact, I have already commissioned a ship and pilot for that very purpose. I trust you to take good care of the laboratory in my absence. I apologize for that somewhat abrupt departure. When progress is in sight, Professor Claudine tends to become blind to all else. Indeed, and he has been worse than usual. While I cannot fault him for his excitement, I do wish we could spare a thought for those around him. For reasons unknown, the crystal seems loath to be overheard, much as it spoke only to you last time. None but the Professor has been able to capture its ethereal yearnings, which has served only to convince him that he can solve this puzzle on his own. Surely after some time alone, he'll come to remember how valuable we are. The search for this crystal seemed to be a simple enough matter. Let him have his adventure, and upon his return, I'm certain he'll be back to his usual self. As for you alls, it may be best to return to Pandamonium, as Professor Claudine suggested. Speaking of which, I do have a request of my own to make. Traveling to Pandamonium requires you to pass through Elpis, correct? There's something I would have you investigate in my stead. While those creations confined within Pandemonium are considered to be failures, I doubt that's their whole story. Barring exceptional cases, they must have been under observation in Elpis before being consigned to their shackles. And if we know anything about the Ancients, it's that they would have kept thorough records of the results. Ah, brilliant. Delving into these records may shed light on creatures Oz has yet to encounter, if your theory proves correct, that is. While there are no guarantees, it certainly beats the current strategy of rushing forward blindly with only her strength to carry the day. For your own sake as well as ours, please unearth what information you can. Of course, I will do that. Could show a few classes to you. Dark Knight. Tank. Healer. My Astro. Very pretty spells. Not from what I've noticed. Like, the deity I chose was Ralger, the Destroyer, and I haven't seen anything that has changed because of it. Probably there just for flavor. I feel like I have a spell missing on my Astro. Don't I have a big portal? Collective Unconscious? Oh no, I have it on T. I got my Reaper, which I've already been playing. A Red Mage. Dancer. Dancer is the one that I'm currently leveling up. Warrior would be next. Another tank. Also, Samurai. Katana. Ninja. Daggers. Dragoons. Spear. Mechanistic gun. Bard. bow and arrow, gunbreaker, a gun sword, sage, a healer, little things that float around you, black mage. Yeah, you can be samurai, but you need to get to the part of the story where you go to the Kugane, because I believe that's where that's when you unlock it. I think. Oh wait, hold on, I'm remembering wrong. I don't think you unlock it in Kugane, but you have to be a certain level to actually get the quest. Samurai. You will have to reach level 50 and get to Stormblood, from the looks of it. And the person who gives you it will be in Ul'dah. Yeah, and there's a few other jobs I haven't unlocked yet. Probably because I'm just not interested in them yet. If you go with Axe, you'll be playing a tank. So if you're going to be doing duties, expect to be guiding everyone through at your own pace. And if you go with Spear, all you have to do really worry about is doing damage. I like damage, so Spear it is. Thank you for the help. Yeah, no problem. I mean, tanks still do damage, but they're expected to do more than just take damage. But yeah. When I first started trying out tanking, it was a bit nerve-wracking to me. But I got used to it. I did not expect to meet you here, of all places. You seek records of Pandamonium's creations? Master Themis has just finished perusing the very same. I should not be surprised that we both arrived at the same conclusion. Luckily, I have saved you the trouble and gleaned what information I could. Ah, so you know each other. I was dreading having to once again scour the archives. But perhaps instead I'll rest for a spell. If there's nothing else, I shall take my leave. As should we, for I have undone the warding sigil blocking the entrance to Abyssos. I came here merely to chase an idle suspicion while awaiting your return. Fortunately, while Pandamonium's protective wards continue to be assailed by our unknown foe, there have been no fluctuations so great as to make me doubt Erichthonios' capacity to keep watch over Asphodelos while I'm away. He works diligently to master internment, that he might deliver the creations back to their cages by his own hand. I thought it best to give him time to hone his craft. Time to be a big noob? Don't worry about being bad in the beginning. you'll rarely run into someone who has the World of Warcraft mentality where they just shit on you even though you're just learning. Majority of players are chill, though I'm sure there's a few out there who are complete assholes. And since fate has brought us both here, I would ask you to accompany me while I attend to another matter. More idle suspicions that I would like to chase down. Rest assured, it shall not take long. I simply have a few questions to ask an acquaintance of mine. Come, he has agreed to meet us near the Neos to Pandamonium. Yeah, I used to play WoW too. I remember this one time when I was getting into healing in WoW. I was doing this dungeon, and the tank was just... I think it was a tank and the DPS was not communicating properly, and people... And both of them pulled too many enemies, which killed us all. We eventually made it through the dungeon, but the tank had the audacity to say that I need a level more before healing in a dungeon. Even though none of their deaths were my fault. I was keeping everyone alive up until the point that someone decided to pull more than anyone can handle. I believe it was a BC dungeon too. I forgot which one it was called. I believe it was the yeah, it was on the last boss. In the boss room there was this guy in a cage where if you talk to him talk to him and kill an optional amount of enemies, you get a buff to help fight the boss. That is a big oof moment, yes. I had to increase the size of chat because stream chat in OBS sometimes doesn't update with the newest comment, newest message. I need to get that fixed at some point. As I have pondered our expedition into Pandamonium, I could not help but be mystified by how strongly the warders we encountered felt. The warders we encountered felt to halt La Habrea, whether it be good or ill. The desk isn't big enough to accommodate 2 keyboards. Mine isn't either. It can barely accommodate 3 monitors, which I have. Hesperos and Ericsonios were 2 sides of the same coin. The former looked to his mentor with absolute devotion, while the latter looks to his father with bald hatred. I would not expect a familiar such as you to understand this, but such extreme emotions toward a single individual are quite rare indeed. Naturally, I feel gratitude toward my mother and father, yet we are all equals in the larger picture of the star. This view is not unique to myself. It is more or less accepted as the way of things. By contrast, the researchers of Pandamonium seem to view La Habrea with a feeling approaching obsession. Whether driven by love or hate, they have all been drawn to him. There were many other aspects of the facility's particulars I found troubling besides. I decided the best course of action would be to go straight to the source and pose my questions to a member of the Words of La Habrea. Oh, hey, Eric. No, wait, that's not Eric. Words of La Habrea speaker. I was expecting it to be Eric. My apologies to have kept you waiting, Master Themis. I understand you are conducting an investigation of Pandamonium, and wish to know of its origins. Indeed. In particular, I wish to know why exactly Pandamonium was built directly under Elpis. The facility is overseen by the Words of La Habrea, after all. They keep it so close to Elpis, whose governing body has no say in its day-to-day operations. At first I thought it'd be simply a matter of convenience. Those creations which were deemed failures by the researchers of Elpis could be easily ushered into their new homes. 3 ads this time? Oh. Then I'll wait. Oh, good. Didn't feel that long to me. Of course, that's because I wasn't watching the ads. So of course it would feel quick to me. Imagine my surprise when a trip to the archives revealed that many of the creations were sent from organizations beyond Elpis, including from the Words of La Habrea themselves. Given this, albeit limited information, I cannot but feel that Academia Eindir would have been a more fitting locale. Those ads were shorter? That's good. What does Elpis have that cannot be found there? Those are fitting questions, and ones we have asked ourselves many times in recent years. Alas, the nature of Pandamonium's construction does not lend itself to relocation. When first it was built, circumstances weren't as they are now. And as you surmise, the majority of the creations kept within Pandamonium were sent from Elpis. Yet as the years passed, interests changed. Failures in creations deemed too flawed even to submit to Elpis paradoxically drew the attention of Pandamonium's researchers. That is quite the change, and in fact it almost runs counter to the facility's original purpose. Who is it that decides which creations will be subject of research? Master La Habrea. Such authority is reserved for the chief keyword, and he has taken it upon himself to step into that role. So if Pandamonium's resources were being misused, it would be under La Habrea's authority, correct? I know not what you're suggesting, but the keywords also hold some sway within the facility. Not even Master La Habrea would be free from their scrutiny. They are duty-bound to report any irregularities as soon as possible. Although I admit, as of late, the communication has been somewhat sporadic. We but recently received a report from one of the keywords stating that all is well within Pandamonium's halls. We know that's a lie. Really? And you are certain that the keyword sent it? Yes, of course, our communication suffered a temporary obstruction, but I can assure you that the words did their due diligence in confirming the identity of the sender. Thank you. This information will be helpful to my investigation. That will be all for my prying. Then I shall take my leave. While you are yet permitted to conduct your investigation freely, I must remind you that the warders' work is delicate, and it would be remiss to disturb them for longer than is necessary. Well, all is well? A blatant lie, and to that we can both attest. One of the remaining key wards is most certainly in league with the party behind this. Let us hurry, and know not why our adversary sent that report. But 'tis plain that we must return to Pandamonium with haste. I cannot guess as to why this false report has arisen now, but it certainly bodes ill, as does the knowledge that our mysterious mastermind has at least one more keyword as to puppet. Regardless, they have tipped their hand, and we would be remiss to leave Ericsonios at the mercy of their machinations. Let us hope no harm has befallen him. I hope not. I like Eric. Not quite. Guess he's still practicing. I've traced these sigils countless times, yet still I lack the strength to maintain the spell. And now time works against me. I can no longer be victim to my own ineptitude. What? Who goes there? Oh, who's this? Hehe, there's something to be admired in such a single-minded effort, even if your methods leave much to be desired. You allowed this familiar to catch you unawares. Have you set your sights so high as to forget you walk upon the earth? I know this creature, a familiar of the Phoenix, but that monster is locked away. That it is, in spite of the trouble I went to in freeing it, I might add. Begrudge me for addressing you in this ill-fitting form if you must, but with control of Asphodelis wrested from my grasp, is simply the best I can offer you. Hide if you will, but mark my words, I will find you and make you pay for the chaos you've sown. Now, there is no need for such hostility. Calm heart stays the course. The wisdom of La Habrea, your father. And how would you know that wisdom he speaks? I have heard those words many times. The scolding of a tutor whose student struggled to grasp the most rudimentary lessons, ceasing with disgust. No. I've not told that to anyone, not even Keyword Hesperos. I can only mean one thing. That still you insist on mocking me. Stop this farce, La Habrea. At last, you move to keep up. Pity that you remain behind, nevertheless. What? As ever you are, always you fail to learn, fail to understand, fail to act. And though fate deigns to offer an escape, you remain here. You are bereft of magical prowess and common sense both. But you need not despair. Dull though you may be, you are yet indispensable to Pandemonium's great experiment. It This is the affection I remember. Tell me, did I ever once measure up to your expectations? You shall. Take pride in that, and rejoice to see your wish fulfilled. What wish? Come, and all shall be revealed. All this rage, this hatred, is but a consequence of ignorance. Our desires align more than you know. What are you? Uninvited guests join our reunion. It seems fortune no longer favors you. Do you think I have any interested in listening to you prattle? Let alone bowing to your will? I am no longer a child, and my faith lies with those who have earned it. So these are the heroes who brought Hesperus low, even as power divine flowed through his veins. 'Tis plain there are worthier subjects to contend with. Just what was that familiar after? Thank you. If you had shown up even a moment later, I shudder to think what would have become of me. There's something I must tell you. I know who's behind this. There's but one person who can hold thrall over familiar, creation, and keyword alike. Masks of the Father. And so there can be but one conclusion. La Habrea was the driving force behind this chaos from the start. There is logic to that. There are few with the wherewithal to even consider experimentation on such a scale, let alone the capacity to create demigods, from man and beast, with the rest of us none the wiser. Considering the magnitude of his work with the Convocation and the Words, his relatively minor role as chief keyword comes under little scrutiny, even as it provides him the authority to wield dangerous magics that may serve as veil and mantle both. Still, I find the notion hard to accept. The misdeeds perpetuated here could not have been done by the La Habrea I know. You have met him, yes? Do you think he is capable of this? Oh, of course. Good to know. La Habrea is capable of far more than you know. Izzy, so you believe La Habrea to be a man of few scruples if he brings his goals closer in reach? That alone should be enough, but let me assure you, La Habrea holds nothing so dear as his own ambition. While he may not be one to let emotion stand in the way of his mission, I cannot believe there are no depths to which he would not stoop. Stretch. Although we met but briefly, the impression he left on me stands in stark contrast to your evaluation. Though his methods are ever unorthodox, they seem guided by a firm understanding of what is just. There's one way to find out for certain. We delve deeper into Pandamonium and pull back the curtain on this mystery ourselves. A wise course. I would not deny the truth of it if I saw it with my own eyes, even if it was discomforting to behold. Then we must move forward with no excess of caution. Alhabrea, or whoever is behind this, has likely spread their tentacles into every corner of Pandamonium. We can safely assume the other keywards won't greet us with open arms. Agreed. Let us make our way through Abyssos, one careful step at a time. I shall stay by Ericsonius' side in case our enemies think to target him again. Could I trouble you to take the vanguard? Thank you. As precaution, I shall safeguard you with a simple spell. This will ensure that even should we become separated, my phantom warriors will still come to your aid. If it does come to battle, the keyword's magics will put us at a disadvantage once again. Luckily, we have you to even the scales somewhat. I trust you shall be liberal with your weight? Yes, I will. Abyssos, the fifth circle now accessible. Oh, also, I don't know if you know. Be sure, once you hit level 30, the spear class which you're playing. It's called Lancer. At level 30, you'll get a quest for it to be upgraded to a Dragoon, which will give you a soul crystal. From what I hear, some people don't realize that. Judging from the demeanor of that familiar, there is little doubt that our enemy has tight grip on Pandamonium and its denizens. We will be vulnerable. Just what is Alhabrea planning, and what role do I play in his schemes? Into Abyssos. The fifth circle. Pretty much. The Dragoons in in 14 at least, they're trained to fight dragons. Pretty much. That's the Dragoons' role. Dragoons are pretty much specialized lancers. But yeah, you'll need that soul crystal to actually have all the abilities you're gonna need for that class. Because if you don't have the soul crystal on, you'll just have the basic Lancer abilities instead of all of the abilities you need. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Don't have all the abilities. You're setless. Reaper. Okay. Time for a boss. Who's it gonna be? Ooh. I've heard this song. I haven't actually seen the fight that it's in. Protocarbunicle mythic creation. Oh my. This version of the song doesn't have the vocals. I assume the final boss in this patch will have the vocals. I like the stage change. That was a pretty good phase change. The Ring of Freedom. Damn it, I pressed the wrong button. Maybe? I I don't remember that ring. Damn it. I didn't move out of the way in time. I'll probably be able to look up the Ring of Freedom once this fight is done. Okay, he's dead. Ring of Freedom is an item level 11 ring and can be used by any class. Requires being at least level 1 to be equipped. I think it's just like a basic piece of gear. I could show you something to help once this is over. Okay. So, hold on. Recommended gear, I could make a recommendation. Loot. I'll need on that. Okay. So in your little character sheet thing, there's this recommended gear button. If you're unsure what the best gear is for the job you're using, just click it and just press equip and it'll do it for you. Four ads. Ah. Oh, wait. It's funny how some scythes, when they're folded like mine is, they look like an axe. Oh, good. Getting through ad hell is the best. So this is where research is conducted on creations imbued with poisons and venoms. Erchthonius and I were conveyed not far from here. It seems our foe is finding it more difficult to surprise us. Fortunately for you, since they appear particularly keen to see you dispatched as quickly as possible. Even alone, you are a force to be reckoned with. Part of me is glad you emerged victorious, that I might observe you further. Oh, hey, La Habrea. Were the circumstances different, I might thank you for keeping my son alive for this long, but I believe we can forgo introductions, unless I have misread you. I'm all too familiar, Paragon. A charming appellation, but I'm afraid I hold no such position. No, I am La Habrea of the Convocation of 14. If you truly are who you claim to be, then answer this question. That can wait. Oh, what is this? Now this is curious. The trap I wove at your feet reacts to ether, but you remain unaffected. Such thin ether, and in an unfamiliar composition besides. It is of no matter, I suppose. A more direct approach would beget the same results. I would advise you to think carefully before deciding your next action. Strike me down here, and Erchthonius' wish shall remain unfulfilled. Never again shall he meet Athena. Mother, you would dare hide behind her name? Listen well, Ericthonios. We are of the same mind concerning your mother. You have your allies for protection, so what harm is there in hearing me out? Ericthonios, wait. There's a question I must needs ask first. Level 12? Oh, good job. If you truly are La Habrea, why speak such blatant lies? Bitter in defeat, are we? Say my name. A simple request. Themis, was it? A trifle soon forgotten, as are you. I have my answer. The La Habrea that I knew took pride in the convocation. I would never suffer its denigration. You sullied his station with this farce. Themis, what are you saying? La Habrea and I hardly saw eye to eye, but I know his voice when I hear it. Indeed, he makes a passing fine imitation in appearance and manner. However, the real La Habrea would never call me by the name Themis. What trouble have you gotten yourself into, Elidibus? So someone's posing as La Habrea? Imposter, you have no right to claim that form, that mask. What? Who? 'Twas a mask that sickened me to wear. The mask of La Habrea, a man who values his position above all, who would murder his own wife in pursuit of duty. Yet you would assume my name and wield powers that are mine by right. Any worth you may have hinges on that which you so despise. Such trite provocations, I will not be goaded into finishing this ere my work is done. Oh, Hephaestus. Is he supposed to be based on Hephaestus? Ericthonios, listen well, I am Hephaestus. And it is I whom you should call father. What in the name of creation? I'm thinking the same thing, Eric. We would do well not to stand idle while our enemy is about. I believe an explanation is in order. Elidibus, let us return to safety so you may provide it. Ah, that sounds more like the La Habrea I know. Before we depart, however, I must offer you an apology. As La Habrea said, I am Elidibus, one of the convocation, an emissary of their will. For reasons which do not involve you. It was necessary to hide my identity while investigating this place. Still, that hardly excuses my deception. I had a feeling. Your perceptiveness does not surprise me. When the time comes, it shall make my explanation all the easier to understand. In any case, we have pressing matters to attend to. Let us do as La Habrea suggested, and return to the gates. We can speak there. Please, help him. Save him. Distant voice? Who's this voice? They mentioned killing Eric's mother. Is that his mother? I still don't understand. I see Elizabeth has chosen to keep odd company. Such a vexing composition of ether you possess. As you are aware of by now, I am known as Elizabeth. After my dear friend Azim and I detected irregularities in Pandamonium, we decided the best course of action would be to hide my station as I conducted my investigation. I am sure La Habrea, as well, is eager to find out why I hid who I was, so I shall save that story for later. First, I would like to speak of you, my friend. Although neither Azim nor I have ever met you in the flesh, you came with her highest recommendation. That alone was enough for me to accept you as an ally without question. That somewhere in the world, a guiding star so similar to herself was out there, amused Azim to no end. There was not a shade of doubt in her heart that you would be a formidable ally. Furthermore, I have heard stories that Mistress Vana, who held the position of Azim previously, journeyed with a familiar much like yourself. That made the decision to trust you all the easier. She too now dons the white robes of an advisor. If she placed her absolute faith in you, I know I would be in capable hands. Aware though I was of the path you had walked, I had no interest in exposing you. I merely wanted to meet you, to travel by your side for a while. I may know but a small portion of your whole story, but that is enough for me. Stretch. Okay. Ow! That was a good stretch. I'm stretching my arm. I definitely need to do more stretching in general. Thank you. But that is enough for me to believe you would never lead me astray. I wanted to tell you that. I'll take that. I see Elizabeth has chosen to keep odd company. Such a vexing composition of ether you possess. Oh, he already said that. Themis? I admit my own grasp on what just occurred is somewhat tenuous. Doubtless, La Habrea can elucidate matters for us. A key ward's goal. Gowl. I don't know how long it's been since we last spoke. La Habrea, and truth be told, I had hoped we never would again. But I see now that I was a fool to think I would ever escape your meddling. Just what is that thing that called himself La Habrea? Why is he the spitting image of your younger self? I find it hard to believe you've only just now found out such a thing was wreaking havoc in Pandamonium. You think matters would simply sort themselves out? I suppose you deserve at least a cursory explanation. I was well aware of the anomalies occurring within Pandamonium, including the fact that Azim and Elizabeth had taken it upon themselves to investigate. I saw no reason to insert myself into the situation. For a time, that was. Imagine my surprise when instead of a formal report from you and yours, I received a communication from one of the key wards stating that research and operations were proceeding as usual. While Hephaestos' deception was almost childish in its simplicity, it became plain to me that your grasp on the situation was slipping. So you knew of his existence from the beginning? I can hardly imagine that you would suffer another to masquerade as one of the convocation, Not without good reason, at least. As you well know, the name La Habrea is but a marker of my station. 'Tis not the name I was born with. Hephaestus has claimed that for himself. I cannot fault him for it, as he is my other half in a manner of speaking. He knows all that I know, my equal in every way, yet within his heart is naught but greed, envy, and desire. All the emotions that we are loath to acknowledge within ourselves. If what you say is true, what purpose would such a being serve? He is the product of experimentation gone awry. A reminder of the days when I was yet young and reckless. I thought him sealed away for good, but it seems time has a way of unearthing the shame we bury. When he spoke of my mother, he looked at you with venom in his eyes, blamed you for her death. Tell me, was he right to do so? His words were but the ramblings of a tortured mind. The hatred and despair he endures has warped his view of the world irreparably. Now that he is awakened, he must be put to rest. If he succeeds in breaching Pandamonium's protective wards, he shall invite disaster unto our star. A chief key ward of Pandamonium, as chief key ward of Pandamonium, it is my duty to decide the proper course of action. As such, I declare that all research shall be summarily abandoned and the facility destroyed. What? You would leave the other warders to their doom? 'Tis a choice befitting La Habrea. Do you disagree? You speak of duty, and ours is to guide our star and its inhabitants upon the correct course. It is no surprise that you would choose annihilation of Pandemonium, if its existence posed even the remotest risk to our people. Yet, as you can see by Erichthonius's response, the decision is somewhat more nuanced than that. Azim and I grappled with this conundrum for some time, in fact. Oh, there's Elidibus doing his thing. That is precisely why I chose to involve myself directly. 'Twas the only way I could truly determine the best solution. And you need not trouble yourself with that further. The chief key ward must prevent the worst from occurring, no matter the cost. Your feelings, Elidibus, are of no consequence. Have you taken even a moment to consider another path? No. You've spared nary a thought for aught but yourself and your duty. You have no idea of the trials we've endured, the foes that Oz has stood against. Oz, is it? A being of such ether as I have never seen. What are you? Oh, I love it whenever a character looks at me and is like, what are you? She is the guiding star that shall lead us safely through this. Thanks to her stout arm and steadfast courage, we have subdued the mythic creations and returned them to their cells. Speaking of which, I would hear your opinion, Oz. I'd head for the Dark Knight class for my main when I can. Oh, okay. Good. I believe you need to make it to Heaven's Ward. The quest to pick it up is in Ishgard once you get there. And it starts at level 30. So you don't have to level it up from 1. Speaking of which, I would hear your opinion, Oz. As outsiders, we are in a unique position to look upon circumstances without vision, unclouded by attachment. What was that you said about being an emissary? That's brilliant. Elidibus, the emissary, may speak on our behalf. Should he judge our approach to more sound, even La Habrea would be compelled to listen. As Elidibus, I am duty-bound to assess the matter from a position of impartiality. My opinion as Themis can carry no weight. You understand what that means, yes? I do. Even so, you've walked with us all this time. Seen what we've seen. Based on that alone, I trust that you'll find the best way forward. Very well then. Very well. Then in my capacity as emissary, I shall state my judgment. At present, there are merits both in destroying Pandamonium outright and in taking time to rescue its researchers, and neither is yet an impossible task. Therefore, I judge that the most measured choice would be to continue upon our present course. We delve into Abyssos, interring any mythic creations we encounter along the way. You have yet to witness Oz's might and Erichthonius' resolve. I would ask that you see our capabilities firsthand, and only then decide if our endeavor is futile. If such is the will of the emissary, then I shall obey. However, if I indeed find your strength to be lacking, trust there will be no objections to the immediate destruction of Pandamonium. I love seeing Elidibus doing his thing. You needn't worry about that. We won't fall. We won't fail. You are bolder than I remember. And you're even more tedious than I remember. Pauls, come find me when you're finished. Erichthonius is understandably frustrated, but if we are to conquer Abyssos, we must go forth with clear heads. Pray, lend an ear to his troubles, that their weight might be enlightened. Where their weight might be lightened. Despite recent developments, our plans remain unchanged. Pray, call me Themis for the time being. It shall put us all in the correct mindset, and in fact, I may be coming to prefer that name. You have done all you can with words. Only your actions can convince me now. Oh. Wrong button. You do have my gratitude, ill-fit as I am to show it at the moment. Without your words to sway him, La Habrea would have carried out his plan without a second thought. When at first we realized the creations had slipped their bonds, the other keywards did all in their power to restore order. Even though they could have chosen escape, they remained to aid their allies. I'm certain not a soul among them would wish to see this facility erased from the world, and they don't deserve to be abandoned simply for carrying out their duty. And besides, Hephaestus has secrets yet untold. Secrets that would be buried if Pandamonium were reduced to rubble. I mean to uncover the truth behind his words, the truth of my mother. While La Habrea was quick to dismiss his claims, I failed to see what Hephaestus would gain by fabricating such a story. All I was told of my mother's death was that she perished in an accident. No one would say more. It was almost as if they feared saying more, in fact. Even if it was not La Habrea that dealt the fatal blow. We've seen with our own eyes how quickly he can condemn others to die. I only wish to know at last what befell her. What do you think, Alz? Does the La Habrea you know have any regard for the lives of others, or will he carry out his duty with another's blood on his hands? He once used my ally as a vessel for his own twisted ends. What would possess him to do that? Long story, I'm not going to explain. Even for La Habrea, such an act would be a black mark against him if it were made known. I can't imagine how much your ally suffered. But it is plain there is much to consider. Thank you, Alls. It's easy for me to get carried away by emotion where he's concerned. We should focus on the task at hand, proving to La Habrea that we are capable of saving Pandamonium and its keepers. The most convincing way to do that would be to regain control of Abyssos. Although I'm loath to admit it, he would know more about those depths than any of us, and seeing as how we require every advantage we can afford... Alls, would you speak to him for us? He seems to have a special interest in your capabilities, and may deign to help at your suggestion, if only to see what you can do. Erchthonius appears to have a deep trust in you, and Elidibus tells me you share some relation to Azim. Your unusual ether does not mark you as a familiar. It is unlike anything I have seen, even among the countless concepts I have observed. Ow. To think that I would encounter an existence I could not create by my own hand. Azim never ceases to surprise. I'd explain it, but... I don't think you'd believe me. The previous Azim was much the same, in taking the entirety of the star into consideration. She came to hold dear emotions and people that a more logical mind would have discarded. This made her act in her own self-interest more often than not. Just as you and Elidibus have conducted yourselves in this matter. The true danger of Azim's nature is its tendency to infect all those she comes into contact with. Emmett Suck said much the same. Trust that I shall do naught that would violate my duty. And yet you so frivolously invoked your authority as emissary to justify this little excursion. It matters little, however, only your deeds can speak for you now. You wish to know more of Abyssos, I take it. Although I no longer have control over many of its functions, I can yet sense what creations lie within. The chief keywords reaches far indeed. Well then, what do we have to look forward to? As since no creations of note, perhaps they've been made into fodder for experimentation. Or perhaps they've been transferred to the deeper circles. Yes, yet Hephaestus would never allow you safe passage. He has left a trial for you to overcome. I speak of Hegemon, keyword of Abyssos. Although her presence is stained with marks of corruption, it is unmistakable. I knew her as a woman gifted in magic and blessed with a highly logical mind. While I can sense those qualities within her still, there is something else at work. I want to fight her. Hegemon. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say that's because she's already been twisted into a Hemitheos, doubtless against her will. Alls, Thamus, we must rescue her from that cruel fate, and if we cannot, we can at least seal her away until we find a means to undo the damage. Your allies make you bold, Erchthonios. I very much look forward to seeing how far they carry you. Family drama. There we go. Now I just wait. Hegemon was a woman of reason and logic. She would never be swayed by Hephaestus's wretched schemes. I would hope she was not made to suffer overmuch. That does not change a strategy that has served us well thus far. Bring Hegemon to heal. Alls and Erichthonius and I shall heal Alls, and Erichthonius and I shall inter her when the time is right. Now we prove our strength. Only then can we free the other warders and unveil the truth hidden in Pandamonium's shadows. I like these statues. Ooh, we only need one healer left. I only need one healer left and then I can fight. Ooh, this place is nice. What the hell's happening here? Good job. Take your time with the game. Don't want to get burnt out. Oh, damn it. I didn't see that telegraph. No matter how long I've played this game, there are some mechanics you actually have to look at the boss for. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this. Oh, I see what's going on. The amount of HP I have? Yeah, it's a lot. Oh, I know what to do with this. So look away. There we go. Damn it. I like this boss. Damn it! It turned me around. Damn it, one of the tanks died. I want a limit break. There we go. She dead. Or conscious. Bum, 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 bum. I give this to the tank. I have a feeling everyone's needing, so I'm gonna need on everything. Why is everyone taking so long to vote? I got the gauntlets. We've won. The key ward is sealed away and alive this time. La Habrea can't deny us now. Servant of violence. Our plan was a success, although I hardly need to tell you that. Hegemon has been sealed away, and now you have no choice but to admit the merit in our methods. You have the right of it. I am not so petty as deny the achievements of those I've squabbled with, no matter how strongly we disagree. Moreover, this being, ether as sin as retreating mist, unable to wield creation magics, yet powerful enough to subdue a Hemitheos, has made this ordeal far more interesting. Then we have leave to continue. As for that, there is one among you whose very presence puts the others at risk. 'Twould be best to proceed without him, for failure would have consequences that reach far beyond Pandamonium. And of whom do you speak? A warder who cannot even conduct his duty without aid. In this place, I hope alone is not enough to overcome what awaits you. A single misstep will send all to their doom. So long as we each do our part and look to the allies by our side, even a neophyte can appraise his companions. That's something that Oz and Themis taught me. While I do not wish to express any bias, I am inclined to agree. If my investigation has made anything clear, it is that we are together greater than the sum of our parts. And hope has brought us this far. It drives us to seek the right path, and to act before that path lies closed to us. Then tell me, what is it you hope for? To see Hephaestus in chains, that's the surest way to prevent further sacrifices. I'm aware that destroying Pandamonium would rid us of him, but the cost is far too great. And I admit, I wish to know how he means to resurrect Athena. And there we have it. You must leave this place at once, and do not think to set foot in Pandamonium again. You are capable, that much is plain, yet Hephaestus cannot be suffered to live, and I shall not allow his talk of resurrection to poison mine or anyone else's mind. Life flows in a cycle, this is known. All souls return to the underworld, and Athena's is no exception. She has likely found a new vessel and a new journey to embark upon. You cannot be ignorant to the folly of Hephaestus' words. Even were he to breathe life into a body, the soul contained within would not be your mother's. What if our knowledge is imperfect? What if Hephaestus has discovered something that no one else has? He knows all that you do, understands the bitter reality of the world. He would pursue the impossible. Think, Erichthonios. I have already explained that he is merely my twisted reflection. Is it worth bringing back your mother if it means others are used and discarded like tools? Is it worth it to see her once more? Now you measure the worth of your colleagues' lives. What was that foolish braying about saving them? Merely a performance to hide your childish devotion to your mother? Please, such barbs will get us nowhere. We should first discuss. You would call me fool. You, who murdered your wife in service of your ambition, for the sake of the star, no doubt. Oh, what's happening to him? I can hear it again, the voice inside my head. I know who to follow, Hephaestus. Father. Mother, oh I love you so, and this voice will guide me to you. Oh no, Erichthonius has gone bad. No, listen not, Erichthonius. He's about to go evil. Something seems to be stopping him. Apologies, you taught me that a calm heart stays the course, but I could never even grasp the rudder. He's gone evil. This was Hephaestus' work? There can be no doubt. It seems he learned from his previous failure. Hephaestus' cunning despite his warped mind. Whatever took hold of Erchthonios made short work of his reason. From the moment he laid eyes upon me, I could sense his hatred and rage simmering below the surface. 'Twas but a matter of time until it spilled forth, and that was when he fell into the spell's embrace. Magic woven with such skill that Erchthonios himself failed to notice until it was too late. If this is the measure of Hephaestus' power, then the other key wards had little chance to resist. We saw his work during our encounter with Hesperos. Doubtless, Hephaestos' magics fed his admiration and envy until there was room for naught else in his heart. And there was something else besides. Did you not feel the presence of another? Yep, there was something. Some voice. As I thought, someone was trying to warn Erchthonios, but whom? Could it have been one of the key wards? Athena, maybe? Alas, their warning arrived too late. I had already provoked Erchthonios' past the point of no return. I bear the burden for this failure. In my stubbornness, I could but scorn the boy, and Hephaestus knew that. I now dread to think of the ordeal that awaits him due to my rashness. There's time yet to save him. We can easily regain control of Abyssos, giving us a firm foothold from which to brave Pandemonium's lowest level. The enemy is within reach. Just with Hesperos, Erchthonios is in danger of being consumed by Hephaestos' spell. However, I have faith that we will not easily lose sight of himself. The way forward is clear, La Habrea. Pray, tell us all you know of what we shall find beyond Abyssos. I can only assume one more keyword lies in wait. The deepest level of Pandamonium is called Tartaros, and your passage shall be challenged not only by a keyword. Hephaestos has laid traps in every corner of its halls. You have no hope of surviving far past the threshold. That, I expect, is where all shall sign. Her dissolute ether shall allow her to slip through the traps unimpeded. We saw it when Hephaestos had no effect, and doubtless even he has yet to devise a countermeasure. Oh, hey Corthus. Thank you for the hydrate. The time is of the essence. Hephaestos is already well aware that you can match a keyword in battle. He will not stand idle while you stroll past his other defenses at your leisure. How are you? Agreed. However, clarity will be indispensable to our success, and I'm afraid I must insist upon it ere we depart. We've yet to discern to what end Hephaestos would use Erchthonios. If you know, I would ask that you enlighten us. You're awake? Well, that makes sense. And then there's the matter of Athena. Why do you so fiercely rebuke Erchthonius' feelings for his mother? Well, I understand the very thought of resurrecting the death is anathema. You act as if grief over her passing should be equally so. How are we to grapple with what plagues our friend and drives our foe if you refuse to acknowledge it? I do acknowledge it. I wish only to spare those that feel it still greater pain. So instead of being honest, you bicker like a child. How dare you? It's true, though. No, you are alright. The blame for Ericthonius' fate rests squarely on my shoulders. Very well, I shall lay bare the truth, but only after the foe before us has been laid low. The remaining keyword is Agdistis. She has served in Pandamonium since its inception, and her affinity for magic is peerless even among the keywords. Hephaestus knows that losing her would mean the end of his experiments. He has hidden her in a space unreachable by conventional means. But your present makes mockery of such barriers. The scarcity of your ether means it will be trivial to send you directly to Agdistis. We shall approach as closely as caution will allow. We know where the battle will commence, so I do not anticipate difficulty in detecting your presence. I'm hoping two roulettes get my Scholar Summoner to 90. Let's hope so. Wafar, I shall do my best to provide you with ground on which to fight and phantom allies to aid you. As for the internment, I have yet to think of a foolproof method. Internment shall not be necessary. From here I can sense Agdistis' essence, but it is scarcely recognizable. Hephaestus was more ambitious with her than he was with Hegemon. She has been transfigured such that barely a scantling of herself remains. We can but take comfort in that what a mercy the underworld would be to her. Oh, so we're just gonna kill her. Will do. I have experience killing things. 7th circle. Since that Hephaestus has come close to perfecting his image of a Hemitheos, which means his research is in its final stage. I shall establish control of Abyssos while keeping an eye on your battle. When the dust is settled, Hephaestus will have nowhere left to flee. Ooh, just a healer left. Bum 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 bum. It's taking forever. taking longer than the last queue. Come on. Oh, I just need 2 more healers. There it is. I'm waiting for this emote to be finished, though. There we go. Oh, was that the tree boss I saw in the patch trailer? Yep, thought so. Oh, there she is. Or what she used to be. Yeah, got killed. I like this boss's design. Yeah, we're all dead. Round 2. How'd that kill me? I was in the right place, wasn't I? Oh, what the? How does this work? Oh. I should have saw that coming. Oh. Oh, I thought they... I thought there wasn't going to be any bridge between the platforms. We're only like halfway through this boss. Somehow that killed me. What happened to the other healer? Did they disconnect? Keep losing people. Gonna use Limit Break as much as I can when it's available. And she's dead. I like her glamour. Come on, everybody vote. I got the armor piece, good. The moment Agadistis was slain, the flow of ether and pandemonium focused keenly on this location, creating a tunnel of sorts through which we could quickly convey ourselves. It was almost as if we were ushered here. This space was created with care and concealed with powerful wards. Only a key ward would have been able to detect it, and even then with great difficulty, ergo. If only I could restore Tartaros to order, but I am afraid this is the most I can manage with such power as remains to me. It's gonna help out in the last moments. It's been too long, Master La Habrea. Likewise, keyword Agadistis. I should not be surprised you were able to break free of Hephaestus' spell, even diminished as you were. 'Twas not an easy task, even with your aid. His curses dig into one's heart, creating a storm of emotions that is all too easy to become lost in. Only by chance did a fragment of myself remain, illuminating a path through the madness. And thus am I able to appear before you now, even while my body was powerless to resist Hephaestus' commands. Some small part of my logical mind stood alone in defiance. It even managed to speak to the outside world. The report. That was you? Doubtless you recognize my voice from the many times I have called out to you. The hope that these pleas would not fall on deaf ears was all that kept me from succumbing to hopelessness. I have greater purpose here than simply saying my farewells. There's something you must know, that the tragedies of the past do not repeat in the present. Forgive me for what I am about to do, Master La Habrea, but the story must be told. It is the only way to understand Hephaestus' fixation on Eryxonios. No longer can you hide your heart away. Hephaestus. No, the mask marks him as La Habrea. Master La Habrea had brought an end to Lady Athena's life, and sealed away a part of his memories and emotions within Hephaestus. These are my recollections of the moments following. And you truly have no intention of revealing the truth to Eryxonios. My lesser half is now buried where none can find it. We would be wise to do the same with our memory of this day. Blood should not sway the spirit so, but Athena's teachings have warped the boy. I fear he would see our star burn to keep his mother safe. Erichthonios believes that he feels love, but he is shackled by dependence. He could not bear the truth. His dependence makes it all the more important to be open with him. He will seek answers about his mother's loss, which shall inevitably lead him to you. Are you willing to accept the blame for Athena's death? Are you willing to accept your son's hatred? If that is what comes to pass, then so be it. Better to be burdened with hatred than to knowledge that Athena thought his body and soul mere tools, to be used and discarded. Oh. So the Athena was being stopped from using people. Then why to tell him what his mother plotted? He would ever seek reasons to believe that the true fault lies with me, or with him. Should he merely hate me, he will remain unfettered by doubt, free to serve the star, far from his parent's shadow. Erichthonios loved his mother more than life itself. And yet, what a dreadful truth you've borne all this time. Such is La Habrea's nature. Every action, every word, a solution to life's great dilemmas, and none to spare for his own. What I have revealed to you is but a small portion of a larger picture. I shall leave it to La Habrea to paint the rest for you, and for Erichthonios, I hope. Thank you, Agadistis. I always admired you, you know. What choice did I have, when you sacrificed so much to guide our star to the heavens? And we're returning to the underworld. Hephaestus has doubtless sensed that his final keyword has fallen. We should return to the surface before he moves to strike us there. If we are to face him, we must be prepared to bring our full strength to bear. It was Erichthonius' hatred of his father that caused him to fall victim to Hephaestus' magics. Yet the roots of that hatred were born from a son's love. A love nurtured not by a mother caring for her offspring, but by a researcher creating the ideal test subject. Pandamonium abounds with demons indeed. Agadistis was ever a bold woman, even in her final moments, that she would unearth the secrets of my past for all to look upon. Still full glad am I that she faced you as her last opponent. I could think of none more worthy to send her soul off to the other side. Okay. And I think with that, I'll finish the rest of this in my next stream tomorrow. Thank you both for coming by and watching. I don't know if you still are, but thank you. But I'll be streaming again tomorrow, finishing Pandamonium up. Thank you both.